What is good, Washington football addicts, Washington football nation? Welcome back to another episode. It is Tuesday. Yeah, sorry we couldn't get this misery Monday off last night, so we're doing it on Tuesday,
Yeah.
December 14th. After that shellacking we took last night, the other day from the old Dallas Cowgirls. This is episode 101, and we're calling this one "It Was All Good Just a Week Ago." That's right. If you know the Jay-Z and Too Short song, you know exactly what we
Down,
mean by
down,
this.
down, 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 down,
It
down,
was all
down,
good just a week
down.
ago. Yeah, so I mean, think about it. A week ago, fellas, we were talking about playoffs.
Playoffs.
We were talking about
Division titles.
division titles. We were talking about drafting
Playoffs.
quarterback next year, and then we're back to where we were 4 weeks ago before the win streaks. But this is a good segue into our next segment. But before we get started, we just want to say thanks for tuning in. I'm Steve. We got Phil at the bottom and we got Deb at the top. Chilling tonight. You know, not even hurt. We're just gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this together. We're gonna get through this together, and we're gonna talk about some Dallas and Washington game. So let's talk about overreactions. What is an immediate, without even off the cuff overreaction to this game? And Phil, I'll start with you.
Wake me up when December ends. No. I'll be honest with you. The overreaction is, oh my God, everybody's hurt, everybody's got COVID, everything's going wrong. Oh my God, the sky is falling. Here comes the negative part of fan
Here
base that
comes
only
the
exists
rain
to talk about
again.
how we should fire the coach. Oh, that's my overreaction is, oh my God, I've got to deal with these assholes again that haven't been around for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's my overreaction. I don't have any real overreaction towards the team so much as my overreaction is towards the fan base.
All right. Now what's your underreaction? What's your underreaction? What's your something that probably should be a bigger, but you're just like, eh.
We lost to the Cowboys, which is a division loss to a team, the one team that was ahead of us in division, our biggest rival. And yet I don't feel like we're that second class to them after this game. I'll get into that more later.
Okay, that's fair. Hey Dev, what's your immediate overreaction of this 27-20 loss to the Dallas Cowboys?
My immediate reaction was, damn, man, it's gonna be hard to make the playoffs. That's what I thought. But
We're still mad. We're still in it. We're the 7th spot now.
we're still in it. Still in it. And we can be even more in it. We just need a little help now. But that's my overreaction, I guess.
Destiny is still in our hands.
It is.
Right.
Do you have an underreaction? Something that you really don't really care about too much? It's probably a big deal.
Well, I know a lot of people's underreaction is Gibson fumbling, but I think that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
this
a good
dude has
one.
like dicks for fingers, bro.
That's a good one. And they're always in the worst spots. They're always in the worst spots. If you think about it, a lot of them have been in the red zone, right?
I'm telling you, dude, he's got cold
Or
dicks for
after a
fingers.
big game.
Actually, I'll
Yeah,
say
that's what he
this.
is.
He fumbles the ball more when he's not getting the ball. When he's getting 25, 27 carries, he's secure with it. It's almost like he's a rhythm runner.
No,
Like
he fumbles.
it's like Adrian Peterson. You can't win with
better
him
as
getting
he
the ball
goes.
10 times. You have to give him the ball 20 times to get him going. Like,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that gets better as the game goes on. I think Gibson runs better when he's fed the ball more. I don't know if he's not as part of the game plan, he has lapses in focus. But it's something I've noticed. He has more fumbles in games where he has less touches.
No, it's true. You're right. Adrian Peterson was a great comparison because it was frustrating for him to get, 2.3 yards, 2.5 yards, and all of a sudden you keep going. It's like, oh, he rips off a 20-yarder, rips off a 15-yarder. But yeah, those volume runners, very, very common.
I think you're right. He is a volume runner, but I think his fumbles seem to always happen when he's trying to extend the yards. So like
Yeah.
every time, it's never like in the backfield or him in the backfield making a move. It's always him trying to fight for extra yard or something. He just doesn't go down, and you want to appreciate that. But dude, if you want to be that kind of running back, man, put two hands on the motherfucking ball, bro.
Yeah. Someone made a comment today on
their nickname
Kevin Sheehan's radio show and said, I bet you Jarrett Patterson wouldn't do that. And then Kevin made a good point. We don't know if Jarrett Patterson was.
Right.
He doesn't play enough. He doesn't get enough carries. He
like
could
we
be
didn't
just,
know.
He
Just
got
like we didn't know
what?
Gibson
He
would
got
do it.
7 touches. He got 7 carries in the last game.
Man, I'm still
I do
rolling with
think-
Gibbs.
I do think you're not going to see Gibson fumble any bold prediction already. Don't think he's going to fumble anymore this year. He seems to respond well when Rivera decides to bench him for fumbling.
I think he took him out 2 series. This was a much shorter break than last time. It was a whole quarter.
They took him out the rest of the game, bro.
No, he didn't
They
come
brought him
back the rest of the game.
He
Yeah,
didn't.
he
It was
didn't come
Patterson
back.
the rest of the
Yeah.
No,
It was
no.
Patterson and
There's the
Jonathan
other guy,
Williams.
Jonathan Williams, who actually played well.
No. I'm talking the last game. Remember when he
Oh,
fumbled?
the previous time he took him out for a drive and a half.
Yeah.
And I think that says something. It's like, okay, you did it again. You're out the rest of this game.
Yeah,
You
that's
do
what
it
I was talking
again, you're losing your
Probably
starting
lose
spot.
job. Yeah, that's probably what
Escalate
I'm
the
doing.
penalty.
Yeah. My immediate overreaction to this is, oh my gosh, our quarterback sucks. We're back where we were, square one. The world's blowing up. We have nothing on this team. But then when you take a step back, it's really not as bad as we think it is. We're still in the playoff hunt.
We're
You're still mathematically in it. It's 4 games left, all division. It's huge. But the immediate, overreaction was, oh my gosh, the season's over. It's not over. Being in those stands, being surrounded by Dallas Cowboy fans as we lost, I felt like our season was over. But you know what? It's not. My underreaction was kind of like you, Phil, and that we lost to Dallas. It's not really a big deal. Yeah, I don't like losing to Dallas, but if you guys remember, I was the only one who predicted a Dallas win. My score was completely wrong. I said 34-31, but I predicted a Dallas win. I just kind of expected it in my head. I just felt like we had too many injuries and we were just not where we needed to be. So
we had to
doesn't
lose
really bother
at some
me.
point.
We right. The magic had to end at some point. It just sucked that it had to be against Dallas. I would have rather lost last week.
Yeah. My heart
But,
told me that was going to happen too. That's why I kept saying we were going to lose.
If it makes you feel better, I'd much rather be getting hot in the last 3-4 games this season than over the last 7, because eventually the odds are going to be against you.
Yeah,
I'm more concerned with these next games because of all the COVID outbreaks and the injuries than I am versus losing to Dallas. I mean, it sucks to lose to Dallas of all people, but I honestly didn't think we were going to win. How much gas do we have after all these injuries against a team that's formidable? Well, I think we did admirably. If you want to be honest, I feel horrible about the game planning and the struggle in the first quarter. That was terrible, man. I mean, Heineke was piss water, man, shit water, whatever you want to call him. It was terrible, man. Quite honestly. But those plays downfield, I don't get mad at, because that's a quarterback that's down 2 or 3 scores, that's trying to make plays. Sometimes it pays off like Cam Sims, sometimes it doesn't, and you get intercepted or almost intercepted. So you take the good with the bad. That tip ball interception on a screen, that was just a damn good play by Lawrence. And then the other fumble, that was just a damn good play by the other linebacker, man. It's just good players make good plays, man. I'm not going to hate on the turnovers, but I'm just glad we playing with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good players make good plays.
You're right. That's the case, and that's exactly what happened at this last game. Let's run through the scoring.
Taylor's not a good player because he didn't make any plays except for that Cam Sims pass, and he literally had to put his entire soul into that one.
Right.
So Phil and I were at this game. We tailgated. It was fun. The vibes were good. It was pretty chill. Everyone was into it. Not a lot of violence or craziness. It was a good atmosphere in the red zone lot of FedEx Field. So my hats off to those who tailgated out there. And Going into the stadium was cool, but lots of Dallas Cowboys, lots of blue and silver, white. The entire bowl across from behind the Dallas bench, all blue and silver. And what really pisses me off is that the opposing player should not be able to turn around, hype up the crowd, and it actually makes a difference. We should not hear boos for our team running out of our own tunnel. Like, that's the shit that pisses me off. And it happened. And we know there's a lot of Dallas fans in this area that, we call them NBDs, Dev, if you don't know what they are. Never been to Dallas. There's a whole thing called being an NBD where you're a Dallas fan in the DC area and you ain't never been to Dallas. You can't pick out another city inside Texas outside of Dallas. You don't even know where Dallas is. We call those NBDs. The whole YouTube video on it, I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. But yeah, they took over that lower.
That's like Rod being a Raiders fan living in Kansas, right?
That's true.
Well, he's only had a few weeks to get to Vegas. Let's give him a little time.
He's probably been to Vegas before though.
No, yeah, and we discussed this when we were going to plan our own Vegas trip. But he'll hopefully get there. I mean, he made it to Arrowhead.
That's true.
And he got to see a much worse game than we did.
Yeah.
At least we had a chance.
True.
Sorry, enough of the Rod rip. Let's get back to this.
That's all right. Let's get back to this. Scoring drives real quick. So Dallas came out gunning, 3-0, 35-yard field goal, 9:41 in the first. Touchdown, 7-yard pass to Amari Cooper with 3:45 left, and they went for 2 and got it, 11-0. We were trying to figure out why did they go for 2, but then they had the penalty on the extra on the previous play, which moved it up from 1 yard. So why not, right?
Yeah.
And then the end of the first quarter was the Taylor Heinicke fumble return for 37 yards by Dorrance Armstrong, 18-0 at the end of the first. That was a crucial play. Didn't Michael Parsons cause that fumble, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
Okay. Second quarter, field goal, 5:02 left, 21-0. 19 seconds left, 37-yard field goal by Zerline, 24-0 going into the half. And Dev, if you could have been there, we had nothing to say. We were just kind of just there at that point. And these Dallas fans would not shut up. They were just loud, boisterous, dancing, and rightfully so. I mean, they were kicking our ass in our own stadium, but it was awful. Coming out in the third quarter, 7 minutes left. Taylor Heinicke throws that. He escapes, he eludes, and he throws that pass to Cam Sims for 43 yards in the touchdown in the back corner of the end zone. And we got the 2-point conversion, 24-8. That was a crazy play. That was a 50-50 ball that he threw up to Cam Sims. And Cam's converted. It was great. How did it look on TV, Dev?
It looked like there was a lot of Dallas fans there. It looked like crazy.
Yeah. How did that catch look?
How did that look on TV?
How'd that catch from Cam Sims look on TV where that 43-yard 50-50 ball where Cam jumped up, came down with it? And it was very
I thought when it happened, I thought immediately it was a touchdown. I didn't think it wasn't. From my end, I was like, touchdown. And then it was going back. I said, wait a minute. They said it wasn't. They challenged that. And I was like, they said it wasn't a touchdown. It clearly was a touchdown to me. I could see his whole thigh or shin or whatever fall, hit the ground. I seen all that. I was like, that's a catch. I was just worried about if
it was very obvious on the screen in the stadium.
It all goes back to what the call on the field was. I'm going to say
something people are going to hate. Kudos to Dan Snyder. Those are some beautiful screens in that stadium because you see everything very clearly. They're not the biggest screens, but they are crystal clear, and you could easily see it. That was a touchdown in the stadium.
Yeah, I could hear. There were a lot of times I could hear what's the little slot receiver's name? Winfro.
You mean on the Cowboys?
Not Winfro. I'm tripping. Cooper.
No, I'm not Amari Cooper. You're talking about
Yeah, I'm talking about Amari Cooper.
CD Lamb. CD Lamb.
No, he's talking about.
I'm talking about Amari Cooper. Yeah, that's what I heard. Oh. Yeah, I kept hearing. I don't know why the fuck I said Winfro, but yeah, Cooper. I said everything when he caught the ball, I heard them. That kind of pissed me off.
Former Raider, by the way.
Right.
Amari Cooper.
Right. So, but other than that, I could see it in the background. There was a lot of blue in there.
We couldn't tell on the exactly what the call. I mean, what if it was going to be turned over or not. But it all goes back to the call on the field. What the original call on the field is that determines can they overturn it or reverse it.
Hey,
I
man,
think
got
the original
something for
call
y'all.
was touchdown.
Is Sheriff the worst lineman on our team?
No, he just was the worst. I think he was one of the worst linemen at that game.
Jeez, man,
it was pretty bad.
What lineman do you trust less than him?
Less,
right?
Like starting,
right? Exactly. If you got to think about it, then why the hell is he all pro? Like, even if you could name somebody, you got to think about it. Like I don't.
He was from what I saw, like lazy.
Man,
there was plays that were supposed to develop, and he missed blocks, and
he got whipped. Man, he got beat like he owed somebody money,
like a Salvation Army drum.
Man.
So that takes us to 27-8 going into the fourth quarter. 27. Dallas gets the 29-yard field goal. 27-8. Fourth quarter. Jonathan Williams rushes up the middle for 1 yard. 27-14. Kyle Allen passes to Ricky Seals-Jones on a failed 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
so Ricky
botched that one.
Yeah, he should have caught that one. And then Cole Holcomb intercepts Dak Prescott for a pick six, 27-20. And then Brian Johnson misses the extra point. Hits it. We were on the side. I don't know if it got blocked, but it definitely was low trajectory.
It did get blocked.
It was bad. And then that's the end of the game. That's the end of the game.
Okay, rewind for a second. Cole Holcomb picks off that pass. At this point, I lose my entire mind.
Yeah.
Steve can attest to this. I started getting maniacal because I'm like, oh my God, we're about to do this to Dallas, and this is going to be amazing. Like I'm thinking we're going to get this.
I called you guys on the Facebook.
Yeah. A lot of fans had stuck around. A lot of Washington fans left. We stuck around, and it got quiet fast.
Oh, it got real
2 minutes left,
quiet.
and we were going, and we lined up for that drive. DeAndre Carter drops that ball. Very good ball from Kyle Allen.
Beautiful ball.
And he drops it. And then the next play, I believe, was the forward pass / fumble, and then game over. But it was,
non-fumble fumble.
Yeah. Phil feels different, but I personally feel Dallas dominated that game from start to finish, and I feel like the score should have been a lot worse. And for it to be 27-20 with 2 minutes left, and we had an opportunity to go down and tie it or win it, it just felt.
I felt
honestly, though, they only dominated the first quarter. They got 18 in the first quarter.
They dominated the first half. 24-0.
They got
I feel. Let me clarify something you said there. I feel like their defense was pretty dominant. I was not impressed by their offense. Like I left that game thinking, if we could just string together some drives, totally different game. Because their offense, I remember I said my key to the game was we have to contain Dallas's offense. You can't stop them, but you can contain them. We contained them.
I felt like
any statistical measure, we contained their offense.
I felt like we ran less motion on offense. Like there were less. I felt like with the way they were so aggressive on defense, we should have thrown a lot more motion at them so we could get a few more tellers for quarterback to see. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed like they ran less motion. There was less Samuels and Carter running around in the backfield this game. I don't know if it's because McKissick wasn't in there. I don't know if they just didn't. By the way, Gibson is terrible at third down blocking, man.
Is he?
Man,
he's not used to playing third down, man. It's crazy.
Parsons threw him out the way for the one busted up the middle.
Well, again, he's a converted receiver. All
they
right.
kept splitting him out wide, which what we saw, we're like,
and never threw him the ball.
I do like that, but I'm saying it just seemed like a lot less motion to run. Like we were motioning guys out the backfield and then running the opposite way the last game. This game was like a whole lot less. It was basically just straight line runs.
I
I felt like
feel like Scott Turner pulled out his pre-bye week playbook instead of his
Oh yeah,
post-bye
it was
week
awful.
playbook because you saw all the stupid passes.
Yeah.
It's funny how Heineke only threw 25 passes, but I swear to God, it feels like he threw 45. Because we didn't have the ball that much because he has sub 50% completion day.
There were some drops too out there.
Yeah.
He
Two of them
he hung
Kyle Allen
McLaurin out
passes.
to drive. He hung McLaurin out to drive because he had a touchdown. He got that pass off earlier. Man, I don't know if he could have, but I felt like he could have got that pass off earlier to the sideline.
You got to start the con on Heineke that I always bring up about his pocket awareness really showed itself. Like he just did not feel the rush coming, even if it was coming fast. Like when he fumbled that ball, like I returned for a touchdown.
Mhm.
Like I just felt like Heineke just had no idea that a guy was coming right in front of him. That wasn't even blindside. That was in his face, and he's so focused on looking downfield for whatever that he never felt that rush coming in front of him.
They did exactly what I wish we would do with Sweat or Young, where they put him like at kind of a middle linebacker, let him shoot either the gap up beside of the right or the left of the guard, kind of confused. Like that was what they were doing out there with Parsons, man. He was just choosing which way against like basically a 4-string center. That's a lot to ask. So they were then having Gibson step in and chip him and block him and stuff, and then they take him outside, so you would never know where he's lined up at. Like that's where they need to use Chase Young and Sweat, basically.
Yeah. Well, let's roll into the next segment. We do this on all the post games. We like to call this the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, Dev, we'll start with you. What was the good? What was the bad? And give us an ugly.
Landon Collins was the good for me. I think I hit you up in the middle of the game where I said nobody's talking about this, but Landon has 2 sacks and an interception. And I don't know how many tackles he had, but it seemed like he did pretty well. I mean, I didn't see a lot of crazy things going over the middle. I guess the touchdown pass, but that was probably more on was that Fuller, whoever's supposed to win over the middle there, someone. But I think Landon will be my good. What was the bad? Gibson fumbling, terrible, man. I mean, I like Gibson, man. I'm not giving up on him being a start running back, man, but he's got to, learn to carry the ball with 2 hands. This is why I wanted to keep Adrian Peterson, man. Like just to have him there. But the ugly would be basically the first quarter, the offensive line and Heineke was basically just manhandled. The offensive line just got the shit beat out of them, basically, just to be honest.
Yeah.
And Heineke didn't help them out either, but
that was the first time since week 2 that they had Parsons, Gregory, and Lawrence on the field at the same time. So we were facing them full up first time, and we just weren't ready. You're right, man. You're right. But
not enough bullets in the gun. There.
That's right. What you got, Phil? Good, bad, ugly.
We never got. Well, I guess okay. The good. Our defense doing what they needed to do to keep us in a position to make the game competitive, despite the offense. I mean, your offense continually going 3 and out, you're going to start allowing sustained drives, but Dallas had to earn their yards. Look, Dak was at a 56% completion percentage, which is well under what he normally does. He only had 211 yards passing on 39 attempts. We had 4 sacks and 2 picks on him. Their running backs, Clements and Zeke, were both held to under 4 yards a carry. I think the defense did what they needed to do. If our offense had shown up, we would have won this game. The bad, the play calling was bad. I feel like we regressed. We had regression in play calling. Scott Turner called the type of game that we lambasted him for pre-bye week.
Yeah, it just seemed weird. Like it didn't seem the same. That's what I was saying. It seemed like a lot less motion. I might be tripping, but it just
it didn't seem the same at all. You're right.
Now maybe they saw something in Dallas's defense where they felt that if they did the motion, it was playing into some strength of it. I don't know.
I wonder if it's because they have so many.
I don't see what they saw, but then again, I don't have access to all the game tapes, so maybe they saw something. I don't know.
I wonder if it's because the linemen and the tight ends were so mixed match that there's certain things that guys aren't comfortable running with certain players down on the field.
It's not like those guys haven't been playing in previous games, though. We've been playing backups for several weeks now. Because every week you're like, oh my God, how many more injuries can we sustain? Oh, well, now we're finding out. But
I haven't rewatched the game.
I don't think
Larson
it's that.
Like
they know this offense. They know the offense well enough. We didn't stop running those same plays when Keith Ishmael was in there against the Raiders. But I think the play calling just regressed. I don't know if Scott just fell back on what he knows or what he used to know. I don't know. The ugly, I'm gonna catch a lot of heat for this. The regression of Taylor Heinicke. 11 for 25 is no good. And I know everybody's going to say the line. Yes. But again, questionable pocket awareness, an inability to get rid of the ball when the heat's on. Throwing, tipped balls usually come from not getting the ball up either. And again, Taylor Heinicke has to loop balls in. Steve and I both noticed this. We talk about Heinicke has a weak arm. You don't realize how weak his arm is until you see this offense run with Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen, the ball comes out so much faster, so much harder, so much more on point with how frozen rope those balls are. And Kyle Allen doesn't even have he has an average NFL arm. And he looks like he's Brett Favre just lasering balls in compared to Heinicke. And I actually said, there was one ball that was dropped that Allen threw, and I turned to Steve and I said, I don't think they're used to the ball coming in this hard. They're used to Taylor.
Yeah.
And there is something to it with timing and everything else. I mean, there is actually some truth to that. But it was kind of more of a reference to the fact that Kyle Allen throws a harder ball. He can, and look at the deep pass that Heinicke threw to Cam Sims, and then look at the one DeAndre Carter dropped that Allen threw. Taylor Heinicke scrambles out of the pocket, has to put his entire life into this high arcing ball. He has to arc the ball up, way up to Cam Sims. And Cam Sims is a couple yards deep in the end zone. So let's say it's about 50 yards. And it was almost a straight shot downfield because he had rolled out. Kyle Allen stands back there, flicks the ball, just a normal throw, gets the ball, 30-some yards downfield and 20 yards to the right because he's going from the pocket to the sideline. And he has it on point to an outstretched DeAndre Carter. Like that was a dime.
Yeah.
And I think that's your difference between Heinicke's arm and Kyle Allen's arm. Now, I'm not saying that Kyle Allen is a superior quarterback to Taylor Heinicke. Nope. I'm not going that far. But he's got a superior arm.
Yeah.
And lest we forget, quarterbacks are supposed to throw the ball.
Man, if Taylor had Kyle's arm, he would be.
If Taylor had Kyle's arm, which means if Taylor had an average NFL arm, he'd be such a better quarterback.
Yep.
Heart and determination in Taylor is mountainous. I will never fault him for that.
Yeah, very true.
At some point, you hit a wall if you don't have the talent to match.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my good, I'm going to say is Cam Curl. It was great to see him when Terry went down to get
Cam Sims
the spotlight and be the big 6'4", I think he is 6'4" receiver that 6'5". Thank you, Phil. 6'5" receiver that he is, big bodied. That's my good. Right now,
You ever
he's the
wonder
number
why
2
he
wide
hasn't
receiver.
played? You ever wonder why he hasn't played?
No, we were talking about the stadium. Like, this is pure evidence that he could be a clear number 2.
Has he ever been in a game where he just doesn't? When he's in the called on to play more, he always makes plays. It's not like
I don't know.
happens to make them.
It goes from Terry to. You could argue it was DeAndre Carter as a number 2. It should be Chris Samuels. He ain't doing shit. Right. So
I do understand to an extent. It's like you got money invested in Curtis Samuels. You got money DeAndre Carter is surprised, but mix it up. Yeah. You can keep bodies fresh. Sub them in and out frequently. I know Cam Sims gets subbed in. He runs a lot of snaps, but he does them on run plays because he's a good blocker. Let him run some routes and catch some balls too.
Yeah.
Keep that defense guessing. If you're subbing in and out, this is the Joe Gibbs model. Constantly keep bodies coming in and out of the game. All right. You keep the defense. The defense has to adjust to your personnel. All right. Eventually, you catch them in a mismatch. It always happens. It never fails. And look, everybody talks about Trayvon Diggs. Who did Cam get that touchdown on? Diggs.
Yeah. Trayvon Diggs.
Who did Terry? I think Diggs has problems with receivers over 6 feet because Terry abused him last year. Hell, if Terry didn't get dropped straight on his head, he would have had a big catch too.
Yeah. I'm going to show some stats here in a second, or some PFF stuff. All right, so my good Cam Sims, my bad clearly is, and I'm going to say that for the ugly. I'll say my bad is Terry going down. If Terry can't, Terry doesn't play, hang it up because you ain't winning.
Nope. I got faith. Cam Sims.
If they can game plan for him and design around him, if they can expand on what we saw last week, I would definitely change that opinion. But it's just scary if there's going to be no Terry next week.
It is an AGG sighting.
The legend of AGG, my man. I hope he comes. And then the ugly was just, I'm going to say the offense in general. Like you guys already said it, the play calling, the so quick to abandon the run. I know we got down real fast, but it was just terrible. And what I want to do right now is you guys have both talked about some of the things I'm about to show. And Dev, initially, so let me get rid of this ticker here. This is not good, bad, ugly. So this is the pass blocking according to Pro Football Focus. Saahdiq Charles, he had 8 snaps, but he had the highest grade of 81.2. So Charles Leno, of all the people who played all game, the highest rated pass blocking for our left, he left tackle. Yeah. He went down and Saahdiq came in, but Charles Leno played his ass off. Second, Brandon Sheriff was the second best pass blocker on the line. You might not feel that way, but was
it
that grade is okay, but
what did you say, Dev?
How many sacks he allowed?
He allowed 0. Tyler Larson allowed 1, Cornelius Lucas allowed 1, Gibson allowed 1, and Charles Leno allowed 1. He allowed 3 hurries. That's what he allowed. But like you said, Gibson was a whopping 39. They put him in pass block 5 times.
Yeah,
and that's probably why. Probably why. So yeah, that's your pass blocking stats. Pass blocking stats for the game. And now I want to show you the run blocking ones because it's I think you'll get a good idea if we can go ahead and show both. So for run blocking, Cam Sims 11 run block snaps, but they didn't run the ball that much. But I thought I want to show this. Charles Leno also, for a lineman perspective, was number 1 at 74.9 points, 18 run blocking snaps. So Charles Leno,
our best lineman this year.
Man, it's crazy, isn't it? And not Brandon. Brandon Sheriff was 3rd, but so Tyler Larson had 12 run blocks at center. He had a 68.5 score, and Brandon Sheriff had 20 run blocks for a 65.2 score. So everyone else was just kind of, nothing crazy. Eric Flowers did really bad, and Cornelius Lucas did very bad in the run. You can see there 20 snaps for a 55.
Eric, I talked big about you last week, Eric.
I know. John Bates too, man. Look at that. Not good run blocking at all, which is something we're hoping to see him do better and do more of. But got to step it up. Got to step it up.
He definitely though was left in some weird situations with Micah Parsons though.
What Reyes do?
Reyes was out with a concussion.
No, he played. I seen him run out there. He got a penalty.
He came out.
Sammis Reyes had one run block play for a score of 60 points.
He got a penalty on kick return or some shit.
Yeah, we didn't hear too much of him. And the final one I want to show you is the coverages. So it's the coverages of our defensive backs on the Dallas wide receiver. It's actually a pretty cool stat, believe it or not. So you can look at each individual person in coverage and see how they did against what receivers. Not too bad. So Kendall Fuller was pretty much lined up against all of the receivers, including the tight end. And he did pretty damn good. 90.9. That's a phenomenal score.
Right.
Getting that pick definitely helped. But yeah.
William Jackson, 43. Not good at all.
Explain how he has a 43 and all of his individual stuff.
So I think
I
think they're doing also against the run. So this is not just passing. This is just cumulative. You can see the grades versus the individuals, but overall there's much more to it than just that. Cole Holcomb, 85.6, played really well. Had that pick six.
God,
I take back what I said.
That's one of my favorite plays of the year. I'm sorry. When was the last time we had a pick six?
I have no idea. Cam Curl. Look at Cam Curl.
That's a solid score.
It is, isn't it?
I'm telling you, this defense played really good contained ball.
Yeah.
All right, what's the name score on defense?
Landon had a 34.1. So he must have struggled in somewhere else. I have to go look at the individual grade.
I think he struggled in the run game. He gave
up that touchdown to Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
They credited him with that.
I said it was McLean, but just it was him. I guess it was him.
Yeah. But let's be real. Landon Collins should not be covering Amari Cooper.
No. Should not. He also had a I'm sorry, if you go down to Jamin Davis, 61, pretty good. Played well against Amari Cooper. By McCain, 62. Danny Johnson, only a couple snaps, 72. Shaka Toney, 48. Overall, you can see how all these people did against CeeDee Lamb. So it's pretty cool.
I'm sorry. That's so Shaka Toney on CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, he gave up one reception for 12 yards.
They did that little Dre drop back in that little zone went over on him.
That's pretty impressive if you think about it. CeeDee Lamb should get way more than 12 yards with Shaka Toney covering.
Well, Dev is right. Probably what happened was we dropped into a zone. The ball got thrown near.
Oh, I understand how. I'm just saying that's still.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's funny, though. Give him some credit.
The only guy I've seen on our team that's good enough on that is Casey Toohill. He's actually really good at that.
Yeah.
No one else on the team I've seen is good. Counting Young and Sweat.
Well, Casey Toohill also can't really rush, so drop him.
He's good at that.
Then, other than that, that's pretty much it. Here's the cumulatives in coverage for all of our people on the defense. Landon did not do well in coverage. Kendall Fuller had the most targets, but look, he had 4 receptions for 15 yards against them. That's awesome. He did a great job.
Absolutely.
Cole number 2
did a good job too. I mean, he led that 120. He led a 20-yard reception and a 13-yard reception, but that's it. I mean, he only allowed 2 catches on 5 targets.
William Jackson seemed to take the bear of the punishment with 5 receptions, 60 yards. No touchdowns, but
see, William Jackson has that. Yeah, he has that 124 yard they gave him for that pass interference. So you know what I'm saying. So you got that 25 yard. You take that out to 60. He only has like 30-something yards against him on 5 receptions.
I honestly, I think there is something to that because I didn't think William Jackson played well at all. In fact, it's funny they gave him kind of a nasty score on because he allowed Zeke to catch a ball near him, but he also stopped Zeke short of the first down with because he ran up on the coverage and got him right as he caught the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
He did his
and
job.
Then here's the Dallas ones. We'll just go through these very quickly, but really just like Trevon Diggs didn't do well against Ricky Seals-Jones. I don't know why. He's only one target, but Cam Sims had 2 receptions for 50 yards and a 43-yarder, but it seems like he probably locked him down everything outside of those, a 1 reception for 7 and 1 reception for 43. But outside of that, it looks like he had him locked down pretty well because if I remember, Phil, we were talking about how, man, Trevon Diggs is on CD or on Cam Sims every play.
Mm-hmm.
So since when Terry went down, Leighton Vander Esch did really well actually. He covers that dude. Michael Parsons, 64 mid level, probably didn't ask to do too much in coverage, and then they didn't have too much cumulative passing coverage against us because we weren't really doing a whole lot, but. Yeah, that's the passing stats, fellas. So let's go ahead and move on to this is going to be a hard one, but game balls. Phil, let's start with you. Give me a game ball for offense and defense.
Game ball on defense first because there's some to go around, but I'm going to give it to Landon Collins. I mean, come on, 2 sacks and a pick. I don't care what PFF ratings say. 2 sacks and a pick is productive.
Yeah.
I
mean, that was just his coverage grade to be fair. I'll see if I can pull up his overall grade for that game.
Yeah, but two sacks and a pick is
it's basically caused as much damage as Parsons did.
I mean, come on, he's doing that as a Buffalo nickel. It's what you want him to do. I mean, he's really kind of found his niche pass rushing out of that. He's always been a pretty good blitzer from the safety position anyway. So I think this really plays to his strengths. I almost would give it to Cole Holcomb, but because he had the pick 6. And that was an impressive return too. But Landon Collins was doing his stuff early when everything else was struggling. And I think that helped keep us in the game. Definitely helped Dallas, I think he probably kept Dallas from a couple different scoring opportunities with his plays. Offense, I'm going to go Cam Sims.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I mean, you really can't go anyone else. Cam Sims made an incredible catch on Dallas's best corner. He brought the ball in. He held on to it. That's what you want him to do. I've been saying this since this podcast began. Cam Sims, 6'5" receiver who can high point the ball. What he did is what he should be given an attempt to do at least once a game. Just throw it up there. Name me 4 corners in the league who are going to be able to get up there with Cam Sims when he goes to high point a ball.
Very few, especially if it's one-on-one. You got to his chances have got to be at least like 60-40 minimum.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, of all the corners in the league, one of the ones who I think who could physically hang with him plays for us.
Yeah.
In St. Just.
Yeah.
Because St. Just is 6'3".
I think Jackson's tall. I think Jackson's a tall corner too, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's 6'1". He's still 4 inches short.
Right.
Okay.
So there's my game balls.
All right. So you had Cam Sims and Landon Collins. All right, Dev, who you got? Not Cam Sims or Landon Collins. Make you think.
Damn you, Phil. Oh, well, on defense, I'll go with Fuller. Played well.
That's a good one.
Think,
yeah,
he did a pretty good job of guarding this man. What was his pass score? You said it earlier.
It was in the 90s. He was 90s. Yeah, he was up there. Yeah,
so I'm going with him. On offense. Oh man, it's hard to It's hard to say, man. And I guess I will have to go with Kyle Allen, man.
Okay.
Led us down there on the touchdown run. It got us back in the game. Would have liked to see what he had done if he hadn't tricked the game by throwing
Yeah,
fumble out there like that.
it would have been fun. We would have. I think he would have given us a chance.
I would like to see Heineke in that situation though. I feel like that's the situation he's born for. Now, the rest of the shit he did.
That's where I was going. That's his situation. He's lived up to it many times this year.
Right.
So
I thought it was on when he dove in the end zone. I thought it was Heineke time, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So you went with on defense. You went with who'd you go on defense?
Fuller,
Kendall Fuller, and then you went with Kyle Allen. Okay, my game balls on offense. Charles Leno, because he played his ass off on the line, but I gotta give an honorable mention to Jonathan Williams for his first touchdown of the year. That was pretty cool coming in. But really, Charles Leno on defense. Phil, you went with
Landon. So I know where you're going to go, and you should go there.
Dev went with
Fuller.
So I got to go Cole Holcomb. I was torn between Cole Holcomb and Cam Curl, but it could have given it to either one of them. But I'll give it to Cole Holcomb.
If I would have bet, you would have picked Curl. I thought you was going to go Curl.
Yeah, Curl was all over the place. I mean, even just from where we were sitting, you could tell that dude was just flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the pick six really just kind of sealed it for me. But it could have been a toss-up. Either one deserve it. So yeah, fellas. So as we close this out, not to get into an Eagles preview because we'll do that live Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. East Coast Standard Time on here. Where do we go from here? What's next? Ron came out. I listened to his press conference today on the way to work. No evaluation on Taylor just yet. Seems to be okay. He is the starting quarterback if he's healthy. He was pretty adamant about that. But what's happening, like Deb was saying earlier, is now I think we're up to 9 on the COVID list, if not more. And those guys have got to clear before Sunday. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to be available.
Now, I wonder if they'll play it different because if I'm not mistaken, they think that's the Omicron variant.
Yeah. But all they have to do is have 2 positive tests before Sunday. That's all. That's the only thing that's required. And hopefully that is doable, but we shall see.
The only reason I bring that up is because apparently that variant is weaker. It's a lot more mild. So I figure, well, if they determine that is the variant, why? I don't know if we should. There should be some kind of consideration given to an exception.
Yeah.
That's just me. I know some people would certainly disagree with me, and they're free to do so. But I'm just trying to think logically about this. I mean, if you're trying to mitigate risk, you would be more concerned if it was a Delta variant or an original variant of COVID-19, not so much the Omicron variant. But that's
with so many outbreaks, though, you would think. If you're Philly, you would be like, look, I don't want to play these guys. I mean, I'm just being real. Like, I would be like, man, I don't want to play these guys.
Hey, make a good point, bro. Like,
it seems to be a big outbreak because I think we got it from the Raiders, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys start outbreaking next.
There was just today, I want to say 37 people got added across the league. 37.
Right. So Raiders had an outbreak, then we got it from them, and I think I'm pretty sure the Cowboys are gonna have an outbreak. Then you'll find out. If I was the Eagles, man, I would be like, man, I don't want to I'd make a fuss about it. I'd try to postpone it for a week. I'd see if they could do that.
No, they can't. Honestly. I mean, they're finding teams. If you can't field a team, you forfeit. That's a loss.
Right, I'm not about that life.
Yeah, we're not there. We're far from that. But it's going to be interesting.
We don't have a defensive lineman at all.
Well,
we don't have a defensive end at all. We don't have any defensive linemen, basically.
Thank goodness Jalen.
How much you weigh, bro?
Unhealthy.
Who, me?
Too small for a defensive lineman.
I'm a little too small for a defensive lineman. There was a time I wasn't, but I'm just a little. I'd be an undersized defensive tackle. I'd be Barry Cofield.
I could do a little third down pass rush action right now and get pancaked every play.
I had to throw out the name for the pass because I was actually a big Barry Cofield fan.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
like
that guy
Barry.
played his ass off for being
Hey,
about
man,
20 pounds too
be a,
light for the nose.
be a good
But
time to go get Junior Gillette. Just throwing that
Yeah.
name out
oh
there.
Jesus,
358.
no,
Barry
Bring
Cofield
Junior,
came.
bring
Was he
back Junior.
after? Barry
on.
Cofield was after Terrence Knighton, wasn't he? Or was it
No,
around the
no, it was
same
before.
time?
He was
It was before.
before.
Yeah,
Barry Cofield was
'Cause he came from Dallas. He came from Dallas.
yeah,
no,
yeah,
he
yeah.
came from the Giants. Jason Hatcher
Giants.
came from Dallas.
Jason Hatcher came from that. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
I
that's
get
it.
my guys
Hatcher was a disappointment. Cofield,
Some-
for everything else, I mean, he was playing out of position. He's not a natural nose tackle, but the dude tried to put on weight, and he was a. You like guys like that. He reminds me of some of the guys on our line now, where it's just like it's just balls out every play. Like
Yeah.
he will give you everything, and Jonathan Allen, same way, gives you everything. Deron Payne gives you everything. Those guys are playing in position and are more talented, but no one ever shows Barry
Man,
Cofield some love. So I figured I would with my little joke. But yeah, I'm about 40 pounds, 50 pounds too light to be a defensive tackle in the NFL. Now, here's the thing. So as you all know, Steve and I were at the game today, this past Sunday. This is the first time Steve and I have met in person.
Yeah.
All right, confession time, Steve. You're about 2 inches taller than I realized. 2-3 inches taller. For some reason, I thought you were like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah.
Because I always see you sitting down.
Yeah.
Like you'd never take a picture standing up next to something I could gauge your height with.
No, I sure don't.
Like, even Steve's like Facebook pictures and everything, I can never get a good gauge of how tall he is. And I walk in, I'm like, this dude's my height.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Which actually means that, if Rod was here, we'd have 4 guys over 6 foot. We could, all we need to do is find a point guard, and we might be able to field a decent pickup game.
That's
nah,
right.
I'm done. I'm like, I don't have one trip up the court. It's over.
Hey, what happened to I could run 4.6 in a month?
So we told Anthony Armstrong a couple
We
weeks
play
ago.
half
right?
court. I'm in if I have half court, I got you.
Yeah.
Half court, I got you.
Just play offense.
Well, no. You're
got one game of quarter.
Dev, you're going to have to play post because if Rob was on our team, he's 6. What is he? 6'3", 6'4". He's 6'4", right?
There.
But he says he wants to play wing. Like he just wants to stand out there and spot up for threes.
He wants to be that stretch 5.
Yeah.
Whichever possession runs the court the most.
He wants to be Kevin Durant, but he hates Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Oh man, good times. Well,
man,
fellas,
hold on, man. My boy Hog on the Mountain said on Twitter that John Allen is on his way to Philly right now to spit on every doorknob in that whole shit Stadium, running out the field.
Do it.
It's just funny as hell, man. Hog
just do it to the offensive line.
Twitter.
Not to dive too much into Philly. We'll talk about that next week. But I'd rather see right now Hurts than Gardner Minshew. If you ask me,
man,
Gardner Minshew played a
good fans game. You think our fans are fighting about quarterbacks right now?
Yeah, it's
Philly
pretty
fans
bad.
are in full-on dumpster fire between Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hurts right now. It is amazing to watch.
It's pretty good to see them paired up. That's why we always say it. You got to get a quarterback that's up here. You got to get one that's down here. You can't have them neck and neck. You just can't do it.
Well, ours are neck and neck.
Out of
fate.
I don't want no Fitzpatrick's, bro.
Remember, people, Taylor Heineke was not the starter to begin the season, despite what people think. That's memories are short. We got Fitz. Fitz got injured. Fitz was up here. Heineke was down here. I mean, wasn't that huge gap, but there was a definite 1-2.
Yep. Well, fellas, let's close it out with some shout outs. Phil, go ahead. You got any shout outs before we close it out?
Shout out to the Washington Football Addicts Facebook group. Let me explain why. Relative to the other groups that I'm in on Facebook, the level of conversation, the discourse, the rationality of thought has been generally so much better than any other group I'm in by far. all these other groups is just one loss and they devolve into dumpster fires. And some of the just everybody's hating each other. And it's weird because it's like people are like, Dallas took over our stadium. And then the response is, well, where were you? Which I threw that out there too. Cause I was like, well, were you there? Because if you're not, part of the problem. And I get it because it's like people don't. FedEx isn't the greatest experience, although I will say, Steve and I actually had a really good pregame experience. We tailgated. By the way, Steve is a fantastic grill master. Taught me the virtues of duck fat on your wings.
Yeah.
Where do you buy duck fat at, bro?
It's a secret. You have to order it, but you get like Pam spray or butter spray, just non-stick
duck
spray.
Fat spray.
It's duck fat spray,
duck fat
so it's
spray.
easy to apply. Yeah, it's much easier. Just gives good flavor,
Not only that, but I mean those things were tender. Like you put in your mouth, wings come right out the bone. It was wonderful. But no, we had a great experience. I mean, the tailgate was fun. People had music going. It was a tailgate experience. It was great. There wasn't anybody acting stupid.
Yeah.
That gold pass really does help getting into the stadium. It's not. I've actually had much worse stadium experiences. So I gotta say kudos to kudos to our group for being rational. Kudos to the experience. At FedEx, I mean, the fans were out. The fans were going. Everybody's talking their shit. But again, I'm going to go back to our group. Our group, I think, has some of the best discussion of this team anywhere. That's including sports talk radio. That's including TV. That's including other Facebook groups. That's including Twitter. And I say this as someone who ventures down to all these other places and listens and reads objectively. Washington Football Addicts, man. If you're a member of the group, realize that you are in the best of the best, whether or not you want to agree with it. And I know that admins of some of these other groups are in our group, and I'm saying this out loud right now. Our group is the gold standard as far as discussing this team and not acting like a bunch of jackasses.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good at screening criteria too. So if you just even look like the littlest of a non-Washington fan or you're gonna sell some shit, you don't come in.
No, we actually screen people. Like that's like, hey, our numbers may not be as high as these groups, but if you look, you don't have a bunch of obviously fake profiles in our group. If they got in there, they slipped in, Dev.
Yeah, if you have 30 people whose profiles start with MD from Muhammad, yeah. Yeah, we did that shit in the bud.
Yeah.
Cool.
So kudos to our group for being awesome.
Shout outs, Dev. Are you asleep?
My shout outs to no, I'm not
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, get messages. Shout out to my city, man. Had a big tornado hit.
Yeah. Prayers up, man. Prayers up to you.
Actually, without electric and stuff, man, still going pretty bad. His whole family's been lost. I'm laid off. Hit my gym. I hit my factory. I work at General Motors. Hit that place. Pretty good. The Corvette plant. Tore up my neighborhood real well. Took the side off my apartment I live at, but I probably have stayed in my apartment maybe once in the last 2 months. I'm usually here at my girlfriend's house, so I didn't really lose anything, just some bricks on the side of an apartment that's not mine. So I was pretty fortunate. Just got, I think electric's on over there now, so that's pretty cool.
That's crazy, man.
There's a lot of people doing it with a lot less. Right.
You
Shout
know,
out to Steph Curry. I think he broke the record.
He did. We were talking with Anthony Armstrong on last Friday, and afterwards you text us and you're like, hey guys, we're having a tornado, check this out, and you post a video, and I'm just like, the entire half of the state is all red, looking at the tornado, the severe tornado, warning and watch, and man, it's insane. So glad you made it.
I feel like an ass because I honestly thought Dev lived a little east of that area, And, for those who don't know, we're still friends with Rod.
Yeah.
And Rod was really worried. And I said, no, he doesn't live anywhere near that. It's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he does.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
yeah, it was on my street. It was on my street, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there was
into the thick of it.
There's three that it doesn't think of it. There was 3 of them in our city. I think there was really 4. They can't confirm it, but there was definitely.
But you know what's crazy, bro? It's
EF3.
December. It's December.
Yeah.
It ain't
And
hurricane
what's even
season.
more
It ain't
messed
tornado.
up. We'll see more about this. Messed up Thursday. It's the same weather, like 70 degrees, thunderstorms. Thursday, same
The week, you
exact
mean
weather.
the day prior?
No, it's tomorrow.
They talking
Thursday.
coming
Tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Thursday, day after tomorrow. They're
Yeah.
predicting 70 degrees, thunderstorms again in December.
Man.
So we're probably in the same situation, man.
I hope not, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, shout out to you guys out there in Kentucky, the Bowling Green area specifically. And if you guys need anything, man, you come to us. We got you, man. Shout out to all the Washington fans who made the trek out to the game. We represented well. Nothing we can do about opposing fans coming in unless you're selling your tickets to opposing fans. But, for all we know, those people bought those tickets in the beginning of the season like we did when they were much cheaper and before we knew what the records were. So bound to happen. All we can do is try to make a homestand for, I think we have 2 home games left, if I'm not mistaken, in total. I know we play 1 in Philly. We got Philly at home as well. And then we also play the Giants. And then the home games left, nope, I lied. Just Philly on the 2nd of January. Philly away next week. Dallas away on my birthday, the 26th. Philly at home on the 2nd. Giants away on the 9th. So got to knuckle down.
So I'm going to do a little advertising for the fan base. If you're going to come out to a game, come out to the Philly game. A, because Philly travels. But B, it is going to be Fan Appreciation Day. I actually would be there if I didn't already have some plans for my son's part of his Christmas present. Will be New Year's weekend. So I will not be at the game, although normally I would as a fan ambassador and for fan appreciation, but I can't make it. They announced that for us a little too late, but you should go. Show some support. Be at the game. I know you may have your various qualms and your stupid reasons for not going. Put them aside. If you can go. Buy the tickets. They're still available. It's fan appreciation. They're going to do some stuff for you, the fans. You should go.
Yep.
This is my plea, and I'm going to make it every podcast. If you can go. Buy the tickets directly from the website, unless you can somehow get them cheaper, which I doubt you can on the resale market right now.
Yeah.
Buy the single game tickets. They advertise them. They're there. Go. Show out. Mitigate the Philly fans.
That's right.
Here's the thing. I relearned how much I hate Dallas fans at this game. It still doesn't top my hate for Philly fans. I do not want a sea of green in that stadium.
Yeah, that'd be awful. I don't think it'd be as bad as Dallas, but they do travel well. You're right. And they will come to your stadium and try to fight you. Doesn't matter where they are. They will try to fight you. Normally you get that when you're a visitor in someone else's stadium. They don't care. They'll come to your stadium and try to fight you because that's what they do. And let's take it to their asses on the field on Sunday. So we'll be back on Thursday evening to preview the Dallas game. Trying to line up the Philly game. Trying to line up some Philly fans / content creators to have an objective, or I'm not going to say objective, I would say biased opinion that we can talk to about our team and their team. So stay tuned Thursday evening. We'll be going live here on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter / Periscope. And as always, please go to the YouTube channel, like and subscribe. We really appreciate that. Come to the Facebook group, apply, come in, talk, engage. We love talking about, all things Washington football in that group. So hit us up, follow us on Twitter at WF Addicts. You see everyone's handle up there. Deb will be back on Twitter. Excuse me, Phil will be back on Twitter one day. Until then, you can hit him up on IG at husky.muscle. So
if you like,
I'm not calling this nigga husky muscle, bro. I'm not calling him husky muscle. I'm sorry. I'm not calling them grown ass man husky muscle, bro. It's not happening.
Husky muscle.
Yeah, you don't even know what part of me I'm talking about being a husky muscle either.
And none of it I care about either. All sounds gross.
All right, y'all. We shutting it down. As always, thanks for listening. Peace and hail.